Biggest trap is called the roller coaster. Okay. And that's when your business goes up and it goes down and it goes up and it goes down and it goes up and down and up and down. In my opinion, the biggest reason is actually psychological. And I'll get into that in just a second as well, because I have made these mistakes myself many times. Okay. And I want you to avoid them. Now, if you don't know me, I'm Alan Reynolds together with my wife, Monica. We're the Modern Agents, and we teach realtors how to build a business in a way that is smart, strategic, that gives you better output for the input that you put in, so that you can have a sweet life and build a business on your terms that makes sense for you and your clients. So this is really on topic for us today. Okay. Now, the roller coaster, it happens in many ways as a function of momentum. So you're working in your business and you're trying something new. Maybe you've got a new lead source, or you're working, a neighborhood, or door knocking, or calling expireds. You have some prospecting thing because right now you have more time than you have clients. You need clients. And because you don't have clients, you have time to go get clients, right? So you spend all this time on lead generation, sourcing new business, hustling, trying to make something happen. And as that starts to click into place, right, it fills up your pipeline, right? So maybe this week you've got somebody that comes together, but you also talk to somebody that's going to be moving next month. And then you also talk to somebody that's going to be moving the following month. And so your pipeline starts to fill out a little bit longer. And momentum is a very real thing in real estate. One lead source leads to success, and another lead source leads to referrals, leads to a listing, which leads to phone calls. So the business builds on itself very quickly. And what happens is that you go from being panicked, like, I don't know where I'm going to get any business, and so you're working, you're hustling, to you get somewhere between complacent and or overworked, right? You get somewhere in the realm of burned out because this business is demanding, right? It's 24/7. Sometimes I joke, we're like the delivery doctors, but we don't work in shifts. It's just all us all the time, right? So it can be a very fatiguing pace of work, and you've got to build smart systems around that. So, but you also just get totally burned out and you stop doing all of the prospecting that was filling up your pipeline to begin with, right? So you need to set aside a certain percentage of the time throughout your day, throughout your week, to make sure that you're checking off the prospecting pipeline, to make sure that, at a minimum, even though you've got a bunch of other things going on, you've got enough time to be keeping your pipeline full, right? And, a very, very easy strategy that I've coached sales teams on in the past to make sure that you're literally putting the first things first, right? You start off your day with your top 10 most important prospects, right? These are not current clients. These are not problems. These are not transactional details. These are people that are not yet clients. And you're going to do what I call a first and 10 round of phone calls, right? So the first thing you do with your day, as soon as, you do your meditation, journaling, whatever you're going to do to start your day, as soon as it's in a reasonable hour to call people, is you're going to reach out to your top 10 prospects. And ideally, you would have identified those the night before, okay? So that you're not coming up with it on the fly. But if you identify it the night before and say, like, okay, these are the best people that I could talk to, meaning they're the right price point, they're accessible, I can call them and they answer me, right? You need to have 10 people every single day that you can reach out to, and you're just going to call the best before the day gets crazy, before it gets going. And when you make those first and 10 phone calls, a little football analogy to get yourself a first down, you will have appointments that continue to fill up your pipeline, and you'll make sure that you don't run dry, even though you're running around going crazy, okay? So that's a good way of making sure that your pipeline actually stays full. Now, the other side of it is the psychological side, right? So as you start to get busy, you've got to involve a transaction coordinator to help you manage all of the details. Sometimes a transaction is like a computer that has too many tabs open, and it's just like your brain is running to try to keep up with it. And by giving those tasks, the transactional stuff, off to a transaction coordinator, it closes out those tasks and puts you back in the driver's seat of your business, so that you can run your business effectively, so that you can prospect, so that you can help your clients, so that you can do the things that only a realtor can do, like negotiate and show properties and things like that. So that's a great way to do it. So hand off what you can to a transaction coordinator, hand off what you can to a collaborative agent, maybe another buyer's agent that's on your team or in your market somewhere, or a co-listing agent to help field phone calls that are coming in. And that begins to eliminate the burnout, because the burnout is what causes self-sabotage, okay? And this is what really takes people out of the game and makes them go crazy, because it's not that they're afraid to call the prospect, it's that they're afraid that the prospect will turn into a client. And if the prospect turns into a client, it turns into a headache. They've already got enough headaches, right? So you're at, there's this sweet spot where not enough clients is a big problem, and also too many clients is a problem. Depending on how you're wired, there's workhorses out there that just more is always better. But for the majority of people, that there's a balance there. And so finding that balance is what will allow you to escape the trap of real estate, to escape the roller coaster, which is something that, if you don't understand what's happening, first of all, it can be a big financial swing for you, right? You can make so much money and then be like worried about, where the next round of income is going to come from, right? And so it can be terrifying, it can be frightening, it can be hard on a lot of levels. So when you understand how to level that out, that's going to take the fear out of the equation and let you build a predictable business moving forward. So that's a simple strategy. The first and 10 one is a simple strategy, but also you want to build out automations, right? You want to get into a good CRM. You want to have an email drip. You want to have text campaigns. You want to have some other strategy beyond just the hustle of creating deals and connecting one client to another client and playing Rainmaker and turning this buyer into that seller. And all of that super active hustle stuff is a critical ingredient as a realtor, but also it's not building anything that's gonna matter to you, right? It's building a client base, which can give you referrals, but it's not building anything that you can set on autopilot, that you can downplay the time input. It's all just purely active income. So, you want to be building out systems to bring you leads, systems to acquire more clients. And then, of course, you want to be building out systems to grow your passive income, right? So if you can acquire a property or two for yourself, if you can start generating stock in some way or getting into investments, you can use your real estate expertise to avoid that trap and start to level out the roller coasters so that you're not as susceptible to this trap that so many agents fall into. So hopefully that was helpful. We're going to get into a lot more strategies to help you not just survive, but to thrive and really excel. So follow along, subscribe, and we hope to help you hit your goals in real estate.